Hi, for those of you who don't know me, my name's Bailey Kavanaugh. I'm your average person. I'm not funny. I don't have a really cool job. What I am here to do is talk to you about Alzheimer's awareness. I signed up to do a walk to end Alzheimer's in Great Falls, Montana on September 15th. You can go to alz.org and sign up for your walk in your local area. But for those of you who don't know what Alzheimer's is, that's what I'm here to tell you, just to kind of give you the awareness of why I'm doing this. Just really basic facts. It's a disease that attacks the brain. It affects 50 to 80% of dementia patients. And typically it's seen in people 65 and older, but it can happen early onset in the ages between 40 and 50 years old. It's a very progressive disease. It starts very mild. You eventually lose your ability to perform daily tasks, hold conversations, get to the point where you can't even feed yourself. You don't know where you are. You don't know who anyone is. It's really, really tragic and hard to go through. It is the 6th leading cause of death in the United States, and more than 5 million people in the United States are living with it. The whole point of the walk is to raise money to work towards a cure, towards helping these people. Right now, there is no cure. We have ways to slow it down. It helps those who are suffering through Alzheimer's, the families, and the caregivers. Just because the person themselves is suffering from Alzheimer's, it affects the family members and those around them as well. I personally have lost all 3 of my grandmas to it. My first one, my dad's mom. I was young. I didn't quite understand. She was in a home that specialized in Alzheimer's care. I would go visit her, but there was a point where she didn't know who I was, and I remember seeing her last in her bed, and she couldn't eat, she couldn't drink on her own. She's lost all that function other than what our body naturally does. Her body was deteriorated, it was shutting down, and then we lost her. I was pretty young. So then my second grandma, my mom's mom, she too suffered from it. We took care of her for a while. It gets to a point where you can't leave them alone. So she had to go to a home where she could get constant care and what she needed all the time without being a danger to herself or others around her. And this one hit me pretty hard. I grew up with this grandma. I lived with her, especially in her later years. And to see my family have to take away her driver's license, her own kids, tell her mom that she can't drive anymore because she's gotten in too many car accidents, and to see the confusion and the frustration in my grandma, she'd lose things and there was no explanation. There's a huge state of denial when you have Alzheimer's, and that alone is really difficult to deal with. And then the hardest day is when you show up to her home and she doesn't recognize you. Someone you've known your whole life has no idea who you are. That's hard. And we lost her ultimately to it. She lost all the functions. She couldn't eat, she couldn't drink. Her body too had deteriorated to the point where it was no longer functioning. And then my stepmom's mom, she was my grandma for as long as I can remember. My knee mom, she suffered from Alzheimer's as well, and that was hard. I had my third one go. I was a little bit older. The anger, the frustration, the confusion. It's hard on everyone. When you say goodbye, because you know they're about to end their suffering. They don't know who you are. So after my experiences, gone through it 3 times. I had a really close friend whose grandma that he lived with his whole life went through it, and I was the only one who understood how hard it was to have to take care of your grandparent like you were babysitting them, you know, to remind them like you need to shower, you need to brush your teeth, you need to wash your hands, you need to put clothes on. It sounds funny, and to see a really good friend go through it all. No, it just never gets easier. It doesn't matter who you are, how many times you've been through it. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to spread this awareness. Both my blood grandmas suffered from it, and it is genetic. If it's in your family, you are more likely to have it. Both my grandmas had it, so I could very easily have this disease in my 40s, 50s, 60s, and we're getting there. There's no cure yet, but I know there can be, and that's why I walk. For Dorothy, for Mary, for Lois, for my family, for my friend, for Roy. I walk for them. I walk for my life. No one has to feel that lost. No one has to lose their abilities to live. One day.